Development Council. This morning, we are featuring from the New Jersey Business Action Center, the Executive Director, Melanie Willoughby. This is a product of our Economic Development Committee, so we thank them for their efforts. And as a reminder, we're recording the webinar. We'll share a link with you for a replay. And when we open up for Q&A, we ask that you use your chat function to ask Melanie any questions. And for those who are on and don't know too much about us, we are a nonprofit governmental affairs and economic development advocate. And we were established, actually, this is our 70th year. We were established in 1951. And we represent members of the business community in the 8 southern counties. And we hope to provide some timely access to information on available resources, initiatives, regulatory policy, and other issues that may impact the business community. So today's seminar with Melanie is something we're very pleased to bring to you. And I'd just like to tell you a little bit about Melanie. We've been hanging around for a while together. Under her leadership, the Business Action Center is dedicated to revitalizing and expanding businesses in the Garden State with a mission of nurturing economic vitality and growing jobs. And before joining the Business Action Center in 2018, Melanie served as the Chief Governmental Affairs Officer for New Jersey Business and Industry Association and served as the President and CEO of the New Jersey Retail Merchants Association. That's a statewide retail business organization representing over 3,500 stores. So excellent background for what you're doing these days, Melanie. And we really thank you for being with us. I know you have a ton of information. So with that, I will hand this over to you. And
okay. Well, thank you very, very much. Let me share my screen. And we will get our slide presentation going. There we are. Okay. Well, it's really a pleasure to be here with everyone. And I'm really looking forward to talking with you and to having your questions. What I want to emphasize is that Irene Crespo is here with us today. And Irene is the business advocate from the Business Action Center, who is here and helping businesses in your areas and in your counties. So we have business advocates that are devoted to various regions of the state, and she'll be your prime contact. You can always call me, but Irene is on the ground in your area. So I wanted to start with letting you know that the Business Action Center has actually been around for over 30 years. It used to be part of the New Jersey Department of Commerce, if you might remember way back then. And we have 3 very important offices. First, we have the Office of Business Advocacy, which is where Irene is part of. And they help you with your business to grow, to expand, to relocate. They help you with real estate site searches. And they also help you with all of your permitting activities and interfacing with government. And they're very, very knowledgeable about all of the government agencies. Then we have the Office of Small Business Advocacy, which helps all of our startups, those who are on Main Street. And it helps small businesses access lots of resources when it comes to dealing with so many of the state agencies that are impacting small business, like the Department of Treasury. And we have an Office of Export Promotion because we know lots of companies, may not realize that they could be exporting their product and that they could be expanding their business exponentially. And we even have grants that are helpful for this. So think of the Business Action Center as your connector. We connect you to all of the departments and agencies on the state, local, county, and federal level. So we can help you with a fiscal stability or business continuity plan, and direct you to where you can be able to get technical assistance to write one. We can also help identify, and this is where we get the biggest questions, obviously, the capital that you need, whether it's a local, state, or federal grant. And we work with all of the organizations that provide dollars. And I'm going to get into all of that in a few minutes. We also can help you with operating your business safely, and we can identify access to personal protection equipment, which the EDA right now is still providing a discount. And so here is the link. You do not have to write all this down because you're going to get the slides. And this is being recorded. So you can relax and listen and take it in so that you don't have to rush to write this down. We also clarify state mandated employee benefits because you know that during this COVID time that many of those changed and that there were lots of new requirements that were placed on employers like earned sick leave, paid family leave, and even workers' comp changed. And then we make sure that you have the licensing and certification requirements that you need to operate. And a lot of businesses just don't know what those are. So we make sure that you do. So let me tell you about some of the places that we connect you with. So first, there's the Economic Development Authority, which is really first and foremost for businesses looking for money. And we have a direct line to them. And as a matter of fact, we are their first line of where businesses go to ask questions about any of the dollars that the EDA has to offer. The Treasury Department, 70% of our questions are about the Treasury Department, like getting my business certification or am I tax compliant? Those are big questions and we're able to help you answer those. And the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. No, we cannot help you get your UI. That unfortunately was not something that the department allowed us to do, but we are able to help you as an employer with your questions about your employees and whether or not they were qualified for unemployment or any questions related to the department's requirements for employers. Now, Consumer Affairs is where you're going to get all your certifications, and we have a direct line to them. You know, with people now still working from home in all of the state government, that it's harder to get through to many of these departments. But the Business Action Center, we know how. So you just call us or you go through our live chat and you will be able to access us. Now, the Department of Community Affairs, you know, they regulate all of monies for main streets. They also provide dollars for working with neighborhood preservation areas. And they are very involved in fire code safety and all of your permitting for housing. So the Department of Community Affairs is a pretty important department, and we get a lot of questions from employers about helping them with the Department of Community Affairs. Now, the Small Business Development Centers, they are our partner. We actually help to fund them. And they are in the region and provide technical assistance on how to qualify for an SBA loan and walk you right through it. They're going to help you write a business plan. They're going to help you with e-commerce. They're going to help you with export promotion. They are excellent technicians that we connect you to. Then there's SCORE, who are our seniors who have decided to retire and who want to give back. Downtown New Jersey, which is very helpful to a lot of the main streets in the state. And then any programs from your county or municipality, we know about them all, and they're all on a website that we maintain. So before I go into the website that we have for everybody, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things that business advocates can answer questions for you on. So are you interested in on-the-job training, for instance? So this is a subsidized program with the Department of Labor, and it has an opportunity for you to be able to get dollars for training that's going to give skills to new employees. And hopefully if the participants make satisfactory progress, then you're going to retain them as a regular employee. There was $14 million grant through the CARES Act to help those companies that were impacted by COVID to replenish their workforce. And as a matter of fact, we had one manufacturer who came to us and hired quite a number of unemployed people who, because he had lost, unfortunately, a number of people through COVID, and he got a sizable grant from the Department of Labor for this. Now, the grants can be written up to June 15th of 2021 for up to 26 weeks. So if you have any questions at all and are interested in seeking an on-the-job training grant, I suggest that you call Irene Crespo, because of the fact that Irene is our person who has direct contact with the Department of Labor and their representatives, and she will be able to help you with this. There are also other job training monies where there is providing monies for dislocated workers, the long-term unemployed. There's also monies for employment and training services to expand services for the workforce investment boards. And that's to help increase services for outreach, intake, assessment, screening. I know that it's been a little tough because a lot of the workforce investment boards have still been working remotely, but the department has been putting money into them to increase their accessibility. Now, this is also where you want to talk to Irene, which is the Clean Energy Program. And I'm bringing this up because of the fact that it's changed. And we want you to know about the change. So when the governor signed the Clean Energy Act in 2018, he had a list of things that he wanted to accomplish. He's moving forward with implementing this. And the big thing for you to all know is that we have moved from a centralized energy efficiency program within the Board of Public Utilities to a decentralized energy efficiency program that is going to be controlled by all of the utilities. So I think this is a really important point for you to know and remember, is that it's now going to be your utilities who are going to work with you and offer complementary energy efficiency programs directly to their customers. But the good news is that Irene Crespo is there as the business advocate to help you with this transition. So think about the New Jersey Clean Energy Program is only going to now be for new construction, is only going to be for large energy users, combined heat and power and fuel cells, state facilities, local government energy audits, energy savings improvement program, solar. But your utilities, this is where it's new, is going to be for all existing buildings, residential, commercial, industrial, and all the efficiency products, HVAC, appliance rebates, and appliance recycling. So this is very important for you to remember because this is how the new program is going to roll out. All questions can be directed to Irene. We were updated by the BPU, so we're ready to help you. Now, how do you know about all these things if I'm not here to tell you or Irene is not available? Well, business.nj.gov. This is the business-friendly website that was created in conjunction with the Business Action Center and the Governor's Office of Innovation. It is an incredible website that you all should have, right there on your computer that to go to it to ask any questions that you want. The good thing about this website is the fact that it's updated every day, that it is always current. And that is so different from the last business portal that existed, is that this one is robust. And the most important part of it is that there's a live chat feature, which is powered by our Business Action Center business experts. So as soon as you get on from anywhere from the hours of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, a little box pops up and says, how can I help you? And there's a real person behind that who is there to answer your question. And since the start of COVID back in March of 2020, that we've answered almost 70,000 questions from business, and we want to continue to answer those questions from business, and they have been all across the board. There's no question that we can't answer. We will research it if we don't know the answer right away, and our function is so good that we will get back to you within 24 hours if we don't know the answer right away. Now, the other good part about this is that we have a COVID section. And so at business.nj.gov/COVID, you can get all the answers that you need on the governor's executive orders, on the Department of Health administrative orders, on even the state police administrative orders. And of course, the most important is about the access to capital grants and loans that are COVID related. That I think is an important consideration. And we'll also be able to even help you if your employee has COVID and you don't know what to do. So I strongly suggest that you peruse this section to see if there's anything on there that might give you new information related to, am I doing everything I need to do in order to follow the governor's executive orders, in order to follow the proper safety precautions for my employees, in order to ensure that I am doing everything for the Department of Labor's requirements of how I keep my employees safe. And you do know that employees will report businesses if they are not feeling safe, and the Department of Labor handles those complaints. And so there have been quite a number, and the Department of Labor does investigate, and they have made a few required employers to make a lot of changes. And so, I highly recommend that you know what those requirements are. So here's the business checklist. So we do a lot of documents that we put out we think are going to be helpful to businesses. And this is if you're starting a new business checklist. But even if you have a small business now, I suggest you download this business checklist and take a look at it, because of the fact that you'll make sure that your business is complying with everything you're supposed to be complying with. Because we find that a lot of companies, when they start, they may not have gotten all the best advice in starting their business. And so this is very, very important for them to know what those all are. And then if you have any questions, you can go right to business.nj.gov and we'll answer them through the chat. Or you can also call 1-800-JERSEY-7, which is our hotline. And on our hotline, our individual who answers the hotline can also speak Spanish. So he can help a business whether you're talking in English or Spanish. Now let's go into where the money is. So the Economic Recovery Act of 2020. This is the incentive package that the governor passed back in November of 2020. And I'm going to run through what the programs are. They are not available yet. The Economic Development Authority is in the process of developing regulations for the programs. There are 15 of them. They cover a wide swath of different types of businesses. And they are really to try to revitalize communities and to provide incentives for job creation. There is one that is rolling out now, and that's the Emerge program, but I'm going to go through what all of them are so that you can say, oh, that one pertains to me. Maybe I want to find out when that's going to roll out. And so that's when you talk to Irene, because Irene is our person who is going to have her finger on the pulse of all of the programs from the Economic Recovery Act of 2020, and she will be able to advise you. So Aspire is a gap financing tool to help you with your commercial or residential or mixed use. And so you've got to have your financing already, but it helps you with additional financing you might need where you're sort of missing what it is, you need a gap financing. Emerge is what has come out now. This is actually going to encourage economic development in priority sectors. And so this is providing job tax credits for up to 7 years. The Emerge rules are available now, and you can get them on the NJBAC website. There's been public listening sessions. The first one was last night. The next two is the ones on Monday, April 12th and Wednesday, April 14th. And I listened last night and I found it very, very insightful because the EDA does a PowerPoint presentation that goes deep into the Emerge regulations. So if you don't want to read all of the pages of the Emerge regulations to see if it applies to you, this is where you can get a sense of what the program is. Or you could call us because we're going to be able to field your questions. Now, there's also the brownfields redevelopment incentives, which is helpful for trying to get the brownfields up and redeveloped. We also have a food desert relief program, which is going to try to provide for bringing supermarkets into those areas where we do not have any at this present time. Now, the Innovation Evergreen Fund is going to try to raise funds for New Jersey businesses to help with venture capital funding. So this is really for a lot of our tech companies. The Main Street Recovery Fund. Now, this is going to help support micro business owners. The monies are going to go to the community development financial institutions, and it's going to have them be the facilitator to get the money out. And it's for companies that have less than 1 million in revenue and fewer than 10 full-time employees. There's also going to be a manufacturing credit for manufacturers who are going to create more PPE because we feel that this isn't over and we still need it, and we'd like to encourage the PPE to be made in New Jersey. And then there's the film and digital media tax credit, which you might have heard of is already giving tax credits to production companies, but this is really for studio creation. We would like to become the Hollywood of the East. And so this is where we want to build those studios, and this is really looking to do that. So this is the Angel Investor Tax Credit, which is going to help our technology businesses. And this is the Community Anchor Development Program, which is really how it sort of blends with some of the other programs where the tax credits of the businesses are going to try to help institutions in the community to help them grow and develop. So that's how EDA sort of sees a repurposing of the tax credits to go back into a community anchored development program. And then there's the old ERG program, which is actually going to help also address revenue gaps in development projects. So you have questions, as I said again, I'm not quite done, but about any of them, ask Irene to see if you might fit into any of them. That was actually the biggest question that we got last night, was companies on the call to EDA were trying to figure out where they fit in. And so I think that's going to be an important question. Okay, now there's the historic property reinvestment. So this is another tax credit program to be able to leverage federal money to basically rehab projects. We have a lot of historical buildings in New Jersey, as you know. We were around during the Revolution. So we have buildings that could really be repurposed and really made whole again. And this is where this program comes in. And then we have the net operating losses, which Irene is an expert on. in helping tech and life sciences companies sell their NOLs. And the New Jersey Ignite is actually to help build more workspaces for early stage innovation companies. And then there's the offshore wind tax credit program, which, as you know, is a big priority of the governor. So I want to just mention the micro lender grant. There is a pilot program that's out right now that is going to make $2 million available to provide grants of up to $200,000 to these CDFIs and other eligible lenders so that they can now turn around and make those loans out to small businesses. So this is not giving grants directly to small businesses, this program. This program is to help to expand the EDA's reach to the CDFIs and minority depository institutions and other eligible lenders in the community so that the small businesses can work with them. And once again, this is for small businesses who have less than $1 million in sales revenue and also less than 10 employees. So they look to launch this April 19th to the CDFIs, who then will be ready to turn around and give money out to small business. New legislation that the governor has been signing over the course of this week. This is repurposing the old CARES Act money that came in, and it's $100 million that the governor is repurposing. So first, there's $25 million in small business aid. So that's providing micro businesses with 5 or fewer employees. The applications are not ready yet. Then there is going to be aid for hospitality businesses, childcare centers, nonprofits, and cultural institutions. So these are all going to be separate programs that will all have their own pre-registration period, then their application period, and they will all be organized after the EDA's board meeting, which is next Wednesday, where they're going to pass approval for all these programs. And then the EDA will start to roll them out. So this money is going to be out in the field the soonest, the quickest, because it's old CARES Act money. And we know how we can spend it. We know what we can do with it. And it's going to be a process similar to the other grant programs that the EDA did, where you had a pre-registration period, and then you had the application. The most important thing for businesses applying for this, you must be tax compliant. You must have your business certification. You're going to have to provide both of those in order to apply for the grants. This is where we find that our small businesses get stumped because they actually do not have those done. And so it takes a while to get that done with the Department of Treasury. And if you need to get that done, please call or go on the chat with the Business Action Center so you can get this done ahead of time. Make sure you're compliant. Okay, let's go now into the American Rescue Plan, another tranche of money that's coming down. So right now, there's $15 billion extra dollars in EIDL for the long-term, low-interest loans with obviously the ability to get forgiveness, and the forgiveness loan application is one page. It's down to one page now, and you have until the end of May to apply for this. We also have $25 billion for bars and restaurants. Everyone wants to know, when is this going to open? It has not been announced by the SBA. We're hopeful it's going to be available by the end of April, and as soon as it is, we will get it out to everybody, but it has not been. I know there's a lot of information out there from the US Chamber, from the National Restaurant Association about how you prepare for this. And then that information came out, And then the SBA tweeted and said, no, you don't have to do that. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I want to tell you that this is going to come out the end of April. And as soon as we have it, you'll have it. Okay. So there's also more money in the Paycheck Protection Program, and nonprofit organizations are eligible for the Paycheck Protection Program. The shuttered venue operators. So for all of the community theater and for the any shuttered venue in your community, this is now available. It opened yesterday. These businesses have been so hard hit because they haven't been able to open at all. And so they really need a lot of assistance. And this program is really big. And you can get help to apply for it through the small business development centers. They have the technical assistance to help you with the applications. And also our Arts Council right there within the Department of State can also be helpful. But if you need assistance, get to the Business Action Center and we will help you. I'm going to go a little bit into exporting because I think that there might be some of you out there who might say, hey, this might fit for me. And so you can call us to see if it might work for you. So more than 95% of the world's consumers are outside of the United States. You can have it for any size business, even like if you have one employee, but you have the right product. And we have resources. Yes, we do, because our Office of Export Promotion is there for you. We can help you develop an export plan. We can tell you where you could sell your product. We can identify your global opportunities. We can help you locate buyers. And you might say, well, you know, I only do a service. Well, services are exportable also, as well as any type of product. So what we have for you is the New Jersey STEP, which is the New Jersey State Trade Expansion Program. And we receive a grant from the SBA every year that we then turn around and qualify eligible businesses and give them the grant, up to about $20,000 to be able to prepare to export. So what can you do with this money? Well, you could go on foreign trade missions, but they're all virtual right now. So obviously that's cheaper. We can also help you set up a website, an e-commerce site that's in the language of the place of the country that you're going to export to. Can do translations, can help you with your multimedia, and with a trade show booth that you may need in your virtual trade show. So there are so many ways that we can help you. And it's really worth it, I think, to think, you know, is this something, one way I can expand my business? That's what we try to do at the Business Action Center, is to help you think outside the box so that you can say, hey, I really want to be able to figure out a way to expand my business during these tough times. So we have an application for you. We have where questions can be directed to Bill Spear, or you can just call us at 1-800-JERSEY-7 and we'll connect you to Bill Spear. Now here is an example for you. So wineries, right? This winery was dying because, you know, their tastings, their weddings, their events, they were all impacted. But they got a STEP grant through us, and they had an e-commerce site set up, and they're now up 37% since March of last year, which is huge, and that's how the winery survived. Then there's Princeton-based Carox, which is a respiratory company. Now, they had been exporting already to South Korea, Japan, Turkey, and the European Union, but we helped them to expand to other potential new customers, and they got a New Jersey STEP grant as well. So there's all types of opportunities for you out there to think outside the box. Going to do a little bit about government procurement. Let me see how I'm doing. Okay. I think we have enough time, Marlene, for me to just go into a little procurement. So government procurement. Government is the biggest buyer of product and services in the world. And that's why if you're thinking about how am I going to expand my business, where am I going to go? I think I've gone to every customer that I know. Government. Now, government procurement does take time. It does require a lot of education on how to do it, and there are lots of rules. But I'm only going to scratch the surface today to give you a taste for how you could go about doing this. And then we have people at the Business Action Center who you can be in touch with, who can help you through this. Sort of like kicking the tires on government procurement to say, what do you think? What do I have to do? So here's the basics. So purchasing authorities, they all have two competing goals. First of all, they have the responsibility to secure the goods in the most cost-effective way. But they also have a responsibility to support the business community, especially small, minority, women, or veteran-owned businesses, and they want diverse suppliers. So the government balances this. They want to make sure they have a most cost-effective contract, but they also want to be sure that they have a good, diverse group of suppliers. So there are 4 separate laws, of course, that govern procurement. And there's a federal law, there's a state law, there's a county municipal law, and then there's one specially for school districts. So depending on where you think your product or service might have the best opportunity for being interested or having a government branch be interested, you'd have to become familiar with those laws, and we can help you with that. So there are federal certifications that you would want as a small business when you are going to pursue a federal contract. Now, you probably already know that getting certified takes a long time. It's very important because the small businesses win at least 23% of all the federal contracting dollars, and they do it by being a subcontractor for the most part, until they get big enough to be their own contractor. But you would need to have a number of federal certifications in order to be able to pursue federal contracts. And there are organizations that can help you with identifying federal contracts. And we can help identify and connect you with those organizations if you're interested. But I'm going to tell you that I told you about the one that's the most complicated, which is federal. I don't suggest you start with federal if you're brand new in this. I suggest you look at state certifications first or local. So it's important when pursuing a state-funded contract, or if you're looking at contacting the diversity offices in the private sector, because there are a lot of them that want to work with small business too, like Office Depot or Verizon or Citibank or Walmart or New Jersey Natural Gas, and I've just listed a few, is that you need state certifications. So you really want to identify and certify as a small business enterprise, because New Jersey has a 25% set aside for this. Now, if you're a minority or women-owned business, you also want to get this certification as well, but you must get the small business as well as the minority or women-owned business, which is going to be helpful to you. Now, New Jersey does not offer gender or race-based set-asides at this time, but we do have small business set-asides of 25%. You can also register as a veteran-owned business or a disabled veteran. Good news, there's a single uniform application in New Jersey for you to apply for all of these. And since you're going to be getting this slide presentation, you'll be able to access that link directly. So state government procurement, who does it? Well, it's the Division of Purchase and Property within the Department of Treasury. And they serve as the state's central procurement agency. And they are really wonderful at being able to answer questions. Now, I want you to know there are a lot of cooperative purchasing groups, which also play a very big role. And the Education Services Commission of New Jersey provides cooperative purchasing opportunities to 700 school districts and municipalities. And getting into that cooperative purchasing is a wonderful opportunity for anybody. Now, how do I start? So a good place to start is with New Jersey Start, njstart.gov. That's the state's e-procurement system, which is set up by the Division of Purchase and Property. It's a registration process for all potential current vendors. You can see what all the bidding opportunities are on there. You can search for current contracts. All payments are processed through New Jersey Start, and you can check for expiring contracts as a potential bid opportunity. And so this is where I suggest, if you are brand new to this and you go, oh, this thing is a little confusing, go right to njstart.gov and take a look at it. And then after you do that, and you haven't done any of your certifications, then you want to get certified. And you want to do all this by calling or going to the business.nj.gov and indicating you would like to have someone help you with procurement. And that would be Don Newman, who is our manager of small business, and he is our procurement expert. Now, we also have the small business development centers who can help you put together a plan. You need a plan so that you can say, all right, I'm going to target going after this type of, to be this type of vendor. And the procurement plan is going to be really, really important so that you can not spin your wheels. Now, there's also the PTAC centers that they serve all 20 counties. And then the UCDC serves Union County, but they help you with federal procurement. And they're best really when you're ready to submit a bid. But so we're going to start you with going to Don Newman in the Business Action Center. Then we're going to go to the SBDC for you to put together your plan. And then PTAC has so many great webinars that are free that you could go to learn the ways of getting your product into being a vendor. So what do you have to do to successfully bid on a contract? So you must be registered with the state of New Jersey. Here once again is that valid business registration certificate that I mentioned when you want a grant. You also must be tax compliant. Once again, you want a grant, you need to be that. If you want to bid on a contract, you need to be tax compliant. Just a little info, a lot of people get hung up because they are compliant with their taxes, but not with their UI funds. And this is where they might get a little hung up. You also need to demonstrate your financial ability to fulfill obligations of the contract. So that means that you have obviously sold your product to other vendors, probably outside of state contracting, and you've demonstrated that you have fulfilled those contracts. And patience, because it does take time. You are working with the government, remember, and it is not something where you can say today, oh, I think I'd like to be a vendor for the state government. And then in a week, you are. No. Let's say 6 months is more like it. So other important considerations. Most of the time, if you're a small business or a first-time vendor, you're going to be a subcontractor for a prime. And those primes have a responsibility to diversify and to also have a lot of small businesses working with them. They need to satisfy their set-aside obligations. So you have a chance. Now, the technical assistance programs are there for you. And as I said, your procurement questions go to Don Newman, who's our manager of our Office of Small Business Advocacy. So here are the important websites and how to get in touch with us. So first we have our Business Action Center website right here. We have our 800 number. This is where you go for our live chat at business.nj.gov. And then for COVID, you go to business.nj.gov/COVID. And this is my email address where you can get me directly, and I'm happy to help you. But here's our business advocates. So you are Irene Crespo. Here is Irene's email in which you can email her for any assistance. We do have 3 who are in the field, but Irene primarily covers your area. I just want to cover one more thing, and that is that we're having a virtual series of webinars. And they're coming up really soon. And I want to encourage you to sign up. So you can go to our webpage on the Business Action Center's website, which if you just put NJBAC actually in Google, it'll come up because that is going to be the landing page. So let's talk resources for nonprofits, all of you out there. State Library, the New Jersey Center for Nonprofits, and the State Council on the Arts. They will all be participating. Then government procurement. Here is going to be a little in-depth look at government procurement with Don Newman and small business dissenters, and even Treasury is going to be participating. And then technical opportunities. Here's basically how you write a business plan. And so there'll be lots of opportunities for you to learn some real technical assistance places to go. Then financial resources is on April 29th. Let's talk COVID safety with Department of Labor, our best friend. And then we're going to talk about some lesser known resources that are available, like from your library, the Urban Enterprise Zones, Department of Community Affairs Main Street program, and some of these other programs that you just may not know about, but could very well help you. So that is our Resources for Recovery and Growth virtual series. And you just have to go on our back website and sign up. And we have room for 500 people and each one. And we will be making this available by recording, but I hope you want to participate in person so you can ask your questions. So that's my presentation, and I really want to thank all of you for listening. And I am now available for questions.
Well, I don't see anyone yet raising their hand or putting something in the chat, but let me just mention a couple of things. It was an excellent program, Melanie, as always.
Thank you.
As much as I work with the Business Action Center and EDA and other departments, and as much as I think I knew, I didn't know nearly half of what you're doing. And it's really very valuable.
Thank you.
And secondly, I would say that the virtual webinars that you have coming up, the one that I'd be real interested in is the resources for nonprofits. So I'll be checking that, but we'll be happy to circulate those dates for you to our membership.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, see if
I'll get that to you. We'll make sure that you have that to circulate it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Good. And certainly having the replay of today's webinar is going to be great, because I'm going to have to look at it another couple of times. There are things in there that piqued my interest, and I think one of them will involve Irene. So I'll probably get back to you, Irene, for some answers. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize. Should you have a question, raise your hand or use the chat.
I think one of the things that after I do a presentation is that folks go, oh my God, I don't even know what my question is. And so I think that everyone can always just get in touch with us afterwards. I just want to let everybody know that, it's an opportunity for them to do that. So I think I saw someone had a question. How do I grow my personal chef business?
Right.
Okay. So my question to you is, Are you working out of your home, or do you have a location? Rihanna, is that Rihanna?
Yeah, that's for Rihanna. If you're still on, Rihanna. Oh,
She
okay.
goes to people's homes. Okay, so she doesn't have her own location. All right, so Rihanna, what I'm going to suggest is that I'm going to put you in touch with Don Newman, who will be able to answer that question as for possible loans that you might be able to get to grow your business, and also marketing tools. Do you have an e-commerce site already? Well, you know what, Don Newman, so it's Donald Newman, Newman at sos.nj.gov. And that is where you go to talk to Don Newman and say you were on the webinar this morning and I told you to talk to him, because he's our small business advocate, and he will walk through all kinds of possibilities for you. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge. Just like Irene is about larger companies, Don has that for small companies.
Yeah, and if you have a question, want to turn your video on, we'd like to see your lovely faces when you have a question. Get to know you a little bit. Here, Melanie, we heard there was an issue with SBA shuttered venue application portal yesterday. Has it been reopened?
Okay. I did not hear about that problem, but I can check that out. Irene, can you sort of just check out that with probably the SBDC?
Yeah, there was a problem.
There was a problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, Irene is on top of this. There was a problem, and hopefully it's been resolved. Because if not, then we're going to have a lot of problems, you know? Okay. Just check if it's been resolved. Do you want to check in with Don, Irene, if it's been resolved?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Questions?
I just have one question for the food company. If they have a product that they would like to bring to the market, that they might want to consider the Rutgers Food Innovation Center.
For the chef company, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good idea for Rihanna Marshall. Mm-hmm. Like if she has something special that she makes that she could package.
Mm-hmm. And bring to the market, they can help.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
Because not only that she can bake there and rent space, whatever time she needs, but they can assist, bring it to the market.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Irene.
No problem.
Any other questions? Well, the good news is that you put it together in such a concise form, and we have the replay, and we'll be sending it out to everyone. I suspect that's when you're going to get even a few more questions.
Yes, we always do.
Yeah.
And also my slides, as you can see, are such that if you didn't see the presentation, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I always make it so that you can read them and know what the program is about.
Good. All right. Well, then I am going to just make a few remarks. Thank yous, first of all, to Melanie, and welcome, Irene. We know where to find you, and happy to have been able to meet with you today. As I said, this is a product of the Economic Development Committee of the Southern New Jersey Development Council, and that is co-chaired by Sam Donaldson of AECOM and Bill Whalen of Ocean First Bank. Should you have any interest in joining that committee, just please let us know. And with that, I think we kept to our promise of a 1-hour presentation. So thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Melanie. Stay safe. Have a good day. It's lovely out today.
really, just get in touch with us.
Yep.
We're here for you.
Good. All
Okay,
right.
thank
Well,
you.
thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.